Assalamu alaikum, namaste, sat sri akal, shalom, and good day. You are listening to Awaz Community Radio. And today on the radio, we're promoting jobs within the police. Now stay tuned, they're not all jobs about going up and down the road on the beat. These are jobs that perhaps you haven't thought about before. Okay, so if you'd like to get in touch with us, you can catch us on Facebook. Just type in Awaz Community Radio. We're on Twitter, it's at Awaz Radio 122, or give us a call the good old-fashioned way. It's 0161 839 9817. You can also email us. It's awazcommunityradio@gmail.com. You are listening to Awaz Community Radio with your host Syra, and my guests today are Nicola, Imelda and Carole. Hi ladies.
Hi. Okay.
So ladies, can you tell us a little bit about yourselves and why you're here today? Shall we start with Nicola?
Yeah, I am Nicola. I'm a call handler for Greater Manchester Police, and I work in the Operations Communication Branch, the OCB as we call it. I take in incidents from callers from 999 or 101. I handle them and grade them based on the urgency and what's needed, and then I also provide reassurance and advice for victims or informants for us.
Hi, I'm Imelda. I also work for the Operation Communications Branch in the Customer Inquiry Unit. I mainly work on the main switchboard. I deal with various calls, as in all the 101 calls, the non-emergency calls, plus a few emergency calls and a little bit of more complaints from other members of the public. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Carole. I'm one of the recruitment managers at Greater Manchester Police. It's my role to help GMP fill their job vacancies as quickly as possible with people from the communities across Greater Manchester.
Thank you for introducing yourself, ladies. Now, Nicola, how did you find yourself working with the police?
It's been quite a while now. I started as a special constable, worked for 2.5 years and then became a call handler. It just came up through the vacancy website, and I knew I wanted to work for the police, but I didn't know how or what to do, and I saw that the majority of the skills that I thought I had, customer service, I come from I used to be a waitress before that. I came from there and then decided, well, I've got the customer service role. I think I can speak to people, work under pressure, and I know how to type quite well. So I went for it and managed to become a call handler. Here I am now.
Fantastic. And how about you, Imelda? How was your path towards the police?
It is a job that came up previously. Prior to joining the police, I actually worked for other projects funded by the European Union. So when I was in Scotland, I saw this job advertised as a station assistant to be public inquiry counter within Police Scotland. And it inspired me. I just went right ahead. I like working for the public. I like dealing with the public. So I went right ahead, did that job, and that's why I ended up within Greater Manchester, and I'm still dealing with the public, something I really, really like. Yeah.
So can you tell our listeners a little bit about, what kind of hours you do, what shifts you do?
I actually work variable shifts. I do have the early shifts, which start at 7 o'clock. I also have the night shifts. Some of them have started 4 o'clock and end at 2, and others from 6 o'clock and they end at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I do have variable shifts, which is quite interesting, and there is always rest days. The most important thing is there is always 2 rest days or 3 rest days every after a certain shift. So it's really quite interesting. It's variable and quite flexible.
Mine's quite similar to Imelda's. We work longer through the night, so we'll work earlies, like Imelda said, mids or lates till 7 in the morning. It's quite flexible, and it helps us with other things, I guess. So having weekday days off are quite handy. We work 365 days, so we work Christmas, we work New Year. But it's enjoyable, and you can have days off when people don't usually, which makes good for booking holidays out of school holidays.
So can you say a little bit about what do you do on a typical day? Do you have a typical day, or is every day very different?
Every day is quite different for me, depending on which calls come in, and sometimes it can be really high pressured and very intense and immediate, and then I'll get a next call and it's very slow paced and still important. Everything's important to someone, but it's how you deal with that, and that's what makes it interesting, having it so varied and using different skills, I guess, day to day.
Yeah, exactly, because sometimes some of them can actually be extremely urgent and they need urgent action, and some people can be really hysterical. Like one time I had to receive a call, and when Manchester had all these floods and everybody was running up and down, everybody was panicking. And then I received a phone call. In the midst of all that, someone makes a phone call and says, I have burnt my turkey. And to her, she was hysterical. That's what was really her problem, while everybody else was running. So it's always varied. And it makes it quite interesting because the flexibility, the adaptability, it's different. And another thing I really like about it is I get people from other backgrounds. They speak different languages. If I receive a call and I can speak that person's language, I communicate with them in that language. They feel they can relate to you, and you get the information you want out of them, and you help as you go along. So that's the best thing with this job. Yeah.
Now, what kind of skills do you think are important to, helping you get your job done?
For me, it's more talking to people, being able to relate to them, but having that awareness that you've got a job to do and you've got certain things you need to get for them. You need to have good keyboard skills, good grammar as well, being able to write things down on a document, and more than anything, it's being able to adapt, because it's so unexpected. You need to be able to think quite quickly and be able to respond to that and work out something that may not already be apparent to you. It's not always as easy as this is a burglary, this is what's going to happen. It's sometimes there's more to it, and you need to identify that.
Yeah, I would actually agree, because and a lot of listening skills, you have to really be a very good listener. You have to take time, empathize. I mean, we have to relate to, I always feel that you have to feel that, what if I was the other person on the other end of the line of the phone? What kind of service would I expect? So you really need to have that kind of skill as well, and also ask the right questions. Because sometimes people call in and they say, I want to speak to an inspector. Why do you want to speak to an inspector? You go down straight up to their level, and the more we ask, the more we get to know that actually they don't need an inspector. Someone else can help, and it is always sorted. And a lot of listening basically, and critical thinking, Basically, that's really what we really need. It's listening, good keyboard skills, and then you really have to know when to make the decision. You have to make quick decision and also adapt to, depending on the kind of call that comes in. Some of them are so tense and others are so relaxed. Just like my colleague said, they are variable really. So the kind of skills you need. And you really need to want to work with the public. We do like working with the public, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, we like working with the public.
Of it, really. I would also add as well, you need to be quite decisive.
Yeah.
And really trust your knowledge and experience, because you do get trained quite well, very well in fact, which means that you're confident enough, and you need to go with that and trust that confidence to be able to rationalise and explain why you have done something, which is quite important as well, not only to the public but to your colleagues as well, to help them out.
Thank you, Nicola and Imelda. And some questions now really for Carole to explain a little bit about the details around the vacancies that GMP have.
Okay, so within the operational communications teams, we have a number of different vacancies available to people across the communities of Greater Manchester, and we'd love to hear from you. You've had a really good insight today in terms of, you know, the day-to-day responsibilities within the roles and the types of skills and experience you need. So we have call handler vacancies. That's the team who actually respond and deal directly with the 999 emergency calls coming through. They are roles that work within a shift pattern, you know, every day of the year, 24/7. Obviously, you do get rest days and days off, as the team have mentioned today. We do have radio operator vacancies. Again, very key important role for the teams within GMP and for people across the community. Those members of the team make sure that police officers and members of GMP are sent to help people who require assistance from the police, making sure they have the right information and they're there at the right time and in the right place. Okay, further to support that and dealing with the less urgent and non-emergency calls, we have a team of crime recording officers. Again, we have vacancies there where you're taking information from the public and helping to move crimes forward. And then we have the switchboard operators, who are call handlers, who deal with the 101 non-emergency calls, and also are taking calls from and for members of other partnerships across Greater Manchester. All key roles to help us keep the communities of Greater Manchester safe. Okay, so if you'd like to find out more information about any of the roles we've told you about today, then please do get in touch with our recruitment team at GMP. We'd be happy to help you more and give you some more information. Initially, if you can email in to the following email address, recruitmentservices@gmp.police.uk, and quote Awaz Radio within the title. Please do include your contact details, including phone numbers, and we'll be in touch and provide you with some more details. We can't wait to hear from you.
Thank you very much, ladies, for coming in, Carole, Imelda and Nicola, for coming in and talking about the vacancies that are available within Greater Manchester Police. And it's great to hear about the vacancies that are more, I call them behind the scenes, but they're just as important. It's being part of the police is not just about being on the front line. It's about, the important role that you do behind the scenes, taking the calls, dealing with members of the public.
I'd argue that it is frontline. We're there for you before the actual police officers on the other side of the phone. It's just as important to be there for them over the phone, and that's the way you can do that. So it's just as important, and it's just as rewarding as well.
Fantastic. Thank you for for putting it in your own words there, and I'm really hoping that this is going to encourage some of our listeners who are looking for employment, to pick up the phone or get online and get in touch with you. Thanks very much for coming in.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now, if you have any questions regarding today's show, please get in touch with us. We're on Facebook, just type in Awaz Community Radio. You can tweet us, our handle is at AwazRadio12, or give us a call on 0161 839 9817. Thank you for listening, take care, and start thinking about what you would like to do for the future.